Man, let me tell y'all something right now. I'm gonna tell y'all something right the fuck now. If this were me, fam, if this was me, I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out. I don't care. I don't care. I'm crashing out, dog. There's no way I'm gonna be in a marriage for 51 years and then find out that my children aren't mine. Let's watch. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. But no, for real. Let's watch, because this shit is crazy.
I have been married for 51 years. Got 2 sons, 42 and 40. Damn deadbeats. I'm still supporting the little boogers. Needed to take a test to see if any of us had a kidney good enough for my brother. Found out something interesting. They ain't my kids. There's somebody else's.
This man is a better man than me. I'll say that right now. This man is a much better man than I will ever be. Because I'm telling you right now, dog, if this was me 51 years deep and I found out that my 40 and 42-year-old sons were not my sons, fam, that house is getting blown up. Yeah. I'm doing jail time. I'm going straight to jail, fam, because the rate at which I would crash out would be damn near astronomical. Because again, I find it so frustrating that, and again, granted, I'm not promoting marriage, right? Like, whatever you think is a good solution for your dating and relationship woes is ultimately up to you, right? There's so much nuance in these conversations. It's really hard for someone to just come up with a one size fits all, right? Like, one guy will tell you to trick, another guy will tell you to be a simp, another one will tell you to never get married, another one will tell you this, another one will tell you that. Dog, you got to figure this shit out for yourself. But one thing I know is absolutely for certain: if this was me, everyone's getting clapped. Everyone's getting clapped. I'm sorry. I don't even condone violence like that. But if it were me, which I thank God it's not, everyone's getting clapped. Anyway, let's return to this brother. Again, much better than me. Let's hear this out.
Of course, the only good thing is, I know it's not my fault that those 2 idiots got dumped into this world. Hell, I thought they took after their mother. Instead, they take after the plumber or the postman or the milkman, or, yeah, they were milkmen back when they came around. I mean, God only knows. It sure gets old. I do wish I knew who the real fathers were. And they ain't the same. She was bopping a couple of different guys. But if I could figure out who they were, I've been practicing law long enough that I pretty well figure I could sue their ass and get all my money back that I sunk into those 2 deadbeats. It just chaps my ass that she couldn't tell me. I'd probably forgiven her. Maybe not.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
You know how it is.
I ain't forgiving shit.
Yeah, boys. Y'all need to go get your own paternity test. You can't tell by looking who's the daddy, unless you're looking down at the genetic level. I've been in court thousands of times in paternity suits, and 4 out of 5 times, guy says he ain't the daddy, he's right.
4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5 times. That's scary. Yo, if you're a dad right now, if you're a dad right now, I need you to do yourself a favor. I need you to make sure that those kids are yours, because here's the reality, bro. You're gonna spend, who knows, like in perpetuity, right? Because it's not like you have a kid, they turn 18, you kick them out the door. I mean, for some parents, it's kick them out the door and then they're done, right? But for, I guess you could say, the good parents, for the parents who care, you may be taking care of your child in perpetuity. Much like he said, like he's still taking care of these little boogers, which, again, much better do than me, because once I found out they weren't my kids, you're on your own. Why don't you go find your dad? How about that one? You're more than old enough to go find your father. You probably should go do that. Again, he managed to say that, you know, he probably would have forgiven her. Nah, we don't do that over here. There's no way you can forgive that kind of infidelity. Think about it. She's been living a lie. She's been living a lie for 40 years. Anyone who could live a lie for 40 years plus should not be trusted. Should not be trusted. I mean, granted, if anyone living a lie, obviously shorter than that, should also not be trusted. But I'm just saying, anyone living a lie for 40 plus years, smiling in his face, the birthdays, the dinners, the graduations, the parties, the trips, the arguing, all of that shit was a waste because they weren't even your seed. And you know what's crazier than that? There's some dudes who are willing to be stepdaddy, which, listen, stepdads can be a good thing, right? Like I remember in my life that I almost had an opportunity to have a stepdad, but hey, my mom at the time, she was focused on other things, to say the least. So more or less, that was an opportunity that I missed out on, which isn't a big deal. But I say all that to say that yes, stepdads or just stepparents in general can be a good influence. But what I find ultimately confusing is that the guys that are willing to be, or women, because there are women in this case who do this as well, but the guys that are willing to be stepdad, knowing the potential ramifications, knowing the fact that you too could end up in child support for those children simply by the fact that you're taking care of them de facto, is a little scary. I mean, I don't know, man. Like you really have to love someone. And when I say love someone, I mean be stupid. Like you really have to love someone enough to want to take that kind of risk. Relationships are already risky, right? And they require a lot of work. But to add that into the mix with the potential of the partner still being around, or the parent in this case, the co-parent still being around, it just, whatever that kind of scenario also entails, why would you want any part of that? How many guys have you seen get done up? We just played a video of some dude from her past trying to come back, right? And take his spot. Imagine being a stepdad and the father's like a fucking psycho and he's still around. Do you really want that? Like, you really want someone coming after you? Like, they're his kids. He's gonna have to see them at some point, which means, ergo, he's gonna run into you. The only question is, what are you gonna do when that happens? I don't know, couldn't be me. Let's go ahead and finish this video though. Grandpa got a lot to say, and I'm here for it.
And the genetic test are the only way to prove it for sure. These women are hopping everything that looks fun. You thought you liked sex. You ain't nothing. Well, I guess that pretty well completes that story. I'll go home, start drafting up some divorce papers, see if I can't get free of that crazy bitch. I mean, I stayed with her for the sake of the children and the grandchildren, now the great-grandchildren. But they ain't no kin of mine. Fuck 'em.
Cold, fam. Hold on. What is this shit playing in the back? I don't know what the fuck that is. Let me just close this shit real quick. Sorry, gentlemen. But, man, cold world that we live in, There's something to be said about this. The reality of being a father inherently comes with a lot of risk. And I mean, again, dating in relationships in itself is a challenge. But when you add these additional scenarios, now you're just compounding the issue. And then what true, like, the sad part is when you hit this crescendo of all these things happening, right? Like you find out your children of like 40 years aren't yours, your wife was cheating on you. Like, yo, there is oftentimes for men, and this is not me saying, like trying to be an advocate for the lonely male epidemic. A lot of y'all are just assholes and no one likes you. That's the reality of it. But what I'm trying to say here is a lot of times guys are inherently on their own to deal with something like this, right? And before we go to break, I'll leave y'all with this. I remember my brother Jerry, rest in peace, before he passed away, I was going through a lot of relationship shit. This was like 6, 7 years ago. And, I would talk to him about relationships because he was older than me by at least 7 to 8 years, maybe even a decade almost. Sometimes I forget his age. Sorry, bro. But, when I was talking to him about dating and relationship stuff, he would never give me any answers. Like, he would give me, like half-ass advice here and there. But when I asked for something specific, I would never get like a clear-cut answer. And a lot of the times what he would tell me is, you have to find these things out on your own, which is, kind of fucked up in my personal opinion, but that is the reality for men.